And it is still a tropical storm, a low-end tropical storm, in fact, but we are expecting it to strengthen as it moves into the eastern Gulf of Mexico during the work week. So getting right to it, here is Tropical Storm Idalia, barely moving right now. And in fact, you can see this bit of erratic movement actually to the roughly west, then to the south, but generally the same area right here in this part off of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula in the extreme northwest Caribbean Sea officially. Now, we are expecting it to get a little better organized in the coming days. We've even seen that. You can see these cloud tops growing to the south of the system, this band on the south side of the center. So there is very weak steering in the next maybe 12 plus hours, but tomorrow it will start to get a push off to the north, and I'll show you why in a second when we get into the steering currents. But just wanted to show you the lineup here from the National Hurricane Center. Still maybe a tropical storm by early tomorrow, but then by tomorrow night and early Tuesday it may already be a Category 1 hurricane. And now the National Hurricane Center has upped the status of its hurricane level to Category 2 by Tuesday night and Wednesday. They place it at a Category 2 just before a landfall somewhere around Florida's Big Bend area, and this would be potentially Wednesday morning. A couple of other changes from our previous paths that have come out from the National Hurricane Center on Idalia so far. There have been a couple of shifts very slightly eastward. So if you're joining us from our viewing area in Louisiana and coastal Mississippi, we're actually not expecting really any impacts from this system at this point, aside from maybe some breezy waters south of our coastline, especially toward the eastern Gulf of Mexico, clearly. But this does look like it's going to be a Florida system with impacts with rain, wind, and surge as it makes landfall potentially, as I said, Wednesday morning, maybe as a Category 2. Now, the intensity the National Hurricane Center says is a little up in the air. We have to see how it responds to these warm Gulf waters, extremely warm Gulf waters, but it will probably be able to strengthen either gradually or maybe even pretty quickly. That rapid intensification is possible. It looks like as we get into probably Monday night and then on Tuesday. Rapid intensification, remember, is increase in wind speeds by 35 miles per hour in 24 hours. It continues to bring rain and so forth, especially to the southeast U.S. and along the coast of the southeast U.S. into the work week. Here are the computer model forecasts. Pretty good consensus around that Big Bend area of Florida. I'll show you why in a second. Couple models bringing it even farther to the east. Looking at our upper pattern, here is why we're expecting it to start nudging northward. This ridge of high pressure starts to build into the east of Idalia. So you can see it beginning to get pushed to the north and into the extreme eastern Gulf of Mexico. This would be by Monday night and Tuesday. And then note also that there was, I'll go back in time really quickly, there was also this area of a trough moving into the southeast U.S. So this will be dipping in along with a cold front, and that will go into motion again. We'll draw it off to the north and northeast toward Florida and then kind of paralleling the coast of the southeast U.S. here. Also note for Louisiana's weather, we have had the hottest weekend on record with all-time record highs set at Slidell, Gulfport, New Orleans. However, we're seeing some indications that that trough and an associated cool front finally will end this extreme hot streak. So actually you can see that surface front starting to move through our area. In fact, it's already beginning Sunday night to approach our area. And then you can see by early Wednesday and Wednesday during the day, this system, just with this one European model, you can see this run here, drawing it off to the northeast. So that's why we're not seeing big effects for our part of Louisiana and coastal Mississippi. However, if you're joining us from Florida, you can see the rainfall potential. These oranges indicate maybe 4 or 5 inches plus. Here in Louisiana and Mississippi, the blues and purples up to about maybe 2 inches of rain. And for us, this would be more associated with the cold front and the trough of low pressure moving into Monday and Tuesday. But of course, what you see over here over Florida and along this coast of Florida on the western side, that would be associated with Idalia, of course. So that's a quick update on what's happening with Idalia. I'll give you one more look at its current stats. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday afternoon. We'll have many more updates as we get into the work week, so stay tuned with us. We'll also see you here on Channel 4. If you're in Louisiana and Mississippi, we'll see you for the news at 10 p.m. on this Sunday night. So take care. We'll have more updates coming.